Hello and welcome to the Wolfchase Toyota Insider, the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Brightwood alongside Melissa McPherson, and Coach coming off a solid win over Cincinnati. Ariel Hearn had 17 points. It was one of those games you could tell from the start. Not sure if it was fatigue or not, but Cincinnati did what they wanted to. They uglied up the game, got it slow, kind of got it out of any kind of flow into the ball game where it was kind of short and choppy within that 40 minutes. But at the end, your team was able to pull out the win.
You could tell that their game plan was to make the game absolutely crawl, particularly when we were on defense. And they did a very good job of that. They probably got us into a late shot clock on defense, I'm going to say 10 or 15 times throughout the course of the game. They were very deliberate. Now, if they got a run out, they did want to push it in transition, but if they didn't have that, they were content to just let the game crawl. And as a result, the game crawled until we really got to the fourth quarter.
And I know that's frustrating for a team that likes to love on defensive transition. You guys like to get out and run. The veteran leadership showed a little bit there because there was never a sense of panic that you couldn't get it going until late in the ball game. However, I know on the post-game show there was no panic, but you had said you would have liked to see a little bit more urgency.
That's exactly right. Well, and to be honest with you, I think we didn't get in foul trouble, but we had just enough fouls early in the game where our tempo was off just a little bit. Our post players were getting double teamed. That was another thing that kept us just a little bit uncomfortable. They settled into a 1-2-2 zone and just made it really hard for us to find open looks. They did a great job double teaming the post. And so, as we just kind of crawled through the game, it was a close game, but ultimately they opened up an 8-point lead. We decided to change things up a little bit in the going into the fourth quarter with the press, tried to press them just a little bit, gave up a couple threes in that press, but I think it did change the tempo just a little bit. It got them off kilter and off balance just a little bit as well. But in the end, it came down to the fact that Asia hit some free throws, Ariel hit a couple free throws, and Ariel hit 2 big shots, and that was the difference in the game.
At the end of the day, it's still a win. Doesn't matter if it's pretty or ugly, it notches that win in that column.
It was definitely not pretty, but it was a game where we had to execute at the end of a game. And none of us like it when a game is not the tempo that we want, but at the end of the game, the clock said 0, the Tigers win, and that's the important thing.
Yeah, you mentioned Ariel had some big jumpers late, had the 17 points, and she's now in exclusive company in her career numbers here. The only player in Memphis basketball history, we're talking women's, men's, anything with over 1,500 points, 500 rebounds, 400 assists. That's pretty special.
That's really special. And let's just start with the point total. I mean, she's over 1,800 now, approaching 1,900, I believe. And that in and of itself is just absolutely phenomenal. I go back to the story where I've always said about Ariel, when I was a recruiter, you could end up as one of the top 10 players in Memphis history, and I think she's going to go down as one of the very best. That 400 rebounds is the one that really, or 500 rebounds is the one that really gets you, I think. But to have a point guard, literally a player that's played point guard nearly her entire career, have 500 rebounds, is amazing. Adriana Fuquabe moves into 8th on the list with 800. And Ariel Hearn is a delightful player and one that we're going to enjoy having for the next few games.
Hopefully we'll get some of those bonus games out of it too.
That's exactly right.
And you'll have to start it out Wednesday night at UCF. We played them at the Fieldhouse earlier this year. Got up on them pretty good. They made a little run with 5 minutes in the first half. You separated late because you have the veteran team. They have a very young team, 5 or 6 freshmen. But I tell you what, I think in a couple of years that young UCF team is going to be contending again. They've got a lot of energy. They've got a lot of talent on that club.
Well, Zakira Lewis is not young, and so she knows how to play like a veteran. Aaliyah Gregory is, I believe, just a sophomore, but she is not young. She's got a lot of minutes on her. And they're a team that they hit I was watching the tape against, they played Tulsa last night. They hit a couple shots early, and they can get some confidence and momentum at home, and they're always dangerous at home. So we've got to go into that game. We've got a lot to play for in this game. We've got a lot to lose, and we've got a lot to gain. This is one of those games that you don't want to lose to this UCF team on their home court because it can hurt us in our postseason. We've talked with our players about that. They're very aware of it, And it's going to be important that we approach this like it's a postseason game, because there are great implications. Maybe not for a win for us down there, but a loss down there can really hurt us.
Coach, you travel to East Carolina. It's a week you've got to travel twice, and this is really very scary. It's rare that you get this deep in the season and you haven't at least played a team once, and you're going to have ECU twice in the next 2 weeks. And this East Carolina team this year has been really streaky, off to a really good start, had a fairly hefty losing streak, came back with a little bit of a winning streak. They've lost 4 in a row, but you look at their numbers. Well, the team this year shoots just a ton of three-pointers, and they've got familiar names in Jada Payne and Itiana Taylor.
Jada Payne is the leading scorer in the conference. Itiana Taylor is one of my favorite players behind Alicia Jenkins at USF, because she is just an energy player. There is no basketball and no rebound that is safe out there if she's on the court, and she plays with that kind of energy. And so does Jada Payne. They're battling an injury or two right now, and I don't know how severe they are, but I know it's kept a player or two off the court for minutes. This is a team that has top 4 talent, and I'll have to get deeper into the scout right now. I'm just concerned about UCF, but I'll have to get deeper into the scout until I know a lot more about that. But I do know they're a dangerous team. They may be getting to the point of desperation right now, because they've only got 3 conference wins. That is not sitting well with them right now, I can tell you, because they had aspirations this year to be where they were a year ago with the top 4 finish. And so going to their place with it's going to be a challenge for us, but we're going to get through UCF first before we get too concerned about East Carolina. But I do know that we have them twice, and that's not a team that I'm real excited about having twice right now.
Coach, challenging week. The 2 road games, but also a big opportunity to make a big step forward this week.
And that's what we're talking to our team about. We sat yesterday in the film room and looked at the standings. We've got an opportunity with a win at UCF and a Tulane loss to overtake that 4th spot. And that's something that we're excited about. We know that USF dropped a game. Now they played a non-conference game against Louisville, so we'll have to see how that one plays out. But we've got an opportunity to make some noise here, but we've also got to guard against dropping. I'm sure SMU is sitting in their video room talking about how they can overtake Memphis. So there's not many games left, and there's a lot of games that are going to make a significant difference in the standings going down the stretch.
Coach, as always, we appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeff.
Head Coach Melissa McFerrin, I'm Jeff Brightwell for the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.